a story of a girl who was working in a startup in Nairobi. So she was new in a company where you had to work in teams. So you can imagine being new, working in teams, and having tasks with already set deadlines.
How do you handle being new in a startup?
So first things first, I'd say ensure that you create an environment that is conducive to working by just playing your role in the organization. Secondly, I'd say understanding that every person in the organization has different personalities. So knowing and learning how to deal with these personalities.
Okay. Back to gender.
Oh yeah, so you know how everyone has a workmate or a colleague whom you always cross paths with. Our gender had one, So her colleague couldn't meet deadlines, she was not open to feedback, and she was in constant conflict with people in the organization, So at the end of most days, deadlines had to be pushed to a further date. So long story short, months later, gender quit her job.
Why? I feel like the ways they would have worked together to avoid all this.
Really, ways such as?
Understanding why she was behaving the way she was behaving, why she wasn't meeting her deadlines, why she was always in a constant conflict with friends and colleagues. Was she stressed due to problems in her personal life? This would help for us to know the situation beforehand. Secondly, I'd advise just giving and receiving feedback, and I would finalize with just taking action steps to solve the problem, just in case the problem also arises in future.
Knowing all this, how do you think it could help such a person?
The issue might not be the person, but a specific thing that a person does. So addressing this helps to understand the person. And from the colleague's perspective, she can also understand what the main issue is and not feel like it's a personal attack on their character.
So maybe Jendo did not realize the importances of having peaceful conflict resolution with her workmates.
What she could have realized is if she had managed the situation better, they would have worked together as a team and increased the productivity of the company. Hold up. How do you know so much about Jendo?
Because Jendo happens to be the old version of me.
I can assume things are only getting better in your new workplace.
They actually are. So if I had all this information before, I'd have handled the situation a lot more differently. But now I've realized that it's not only relationships with employees or fellow workmates that you need to work on, but it's also relationships with managers, especially the difficult.
How do you handle such a situation though?
Interesting you should ask. So the first thing is just acknowledging and understanding that your manager is difficult or makes it difficult for you to work with them. I'd also add, just don't keep things to yourself. They might not know or understand that they make things difficult for you to work with. So what you could do is engage them in a feedback session. I'd also add you should talk less, listen and observe more. So you'd be able to know what are some of their trigger points and know how to deal or manage them.
Could setting boundaries also work?
It actually would. What happens is you distance yourself from the situation that is hard or making it hard to work in. That way you'd be able to be more productive in the organization and in your role. Lastly, I'd say it's just understanding what is their management style. So this helps you to know how does this manager operate, and it will also help you to know when to talk to them, to respond to them, or just deal with them.
All in all, learning how to deal with managers and employees creates a conducive environment to coexist and work in, which in turn results productivity and hence meeting the objectives of the company.